So let's get started on this. You are going to need stitch markers. You can use these little plastic safety pin type, or you can use regular safety pins. You can use fancy stitch markers. You can use pretty much anything you'd like that's going to mark your stitches. And you won't need those right away. We'll need those later. Just so you know, you're going to need some of these. You're going to need a pair of scissors. Eventually, we're going to need a darning needle, tapestry needle, whatever you'd like to call it. And it doesn't have to be one like this. It can be any one. Stitch this is not a stitch marker. This is a measuring tape. One of these is going to be nice. You're going to need yarn. I am using Shell in a Ball. In the colorway Prism. And you are going to need a crochet hook of your choice that works with your yarn. As I said, I'm going to be using Shawl in a Ball and a J 6mm. Okay, so now you've got your measurements. You know how long each panel has to be. So let's get started. Let's get your hook on the yarn. How about getting your yarn on the hook? And let's start. This is done in multiples of 6 plus 3. So we're going to chain 6. And we're going to keep on chaining 6. Personally, I like to put a stitch marker in every 6 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Especially when I'm making the front panel, so that I can know exactly how many chains I need to make for that second panel. 1, 2, 3. Without having to go back and count them all. So just keep doing this until your chain is as long as you need it. Once your chain is as long as it needs to be, if you find out that maybe the multiple of 6 is shy of being what your measurement needs to be, add another 6. If it's a little longer than it needs to be, that's fine, you're good. So once you've got your multiple of 6 done in your chain, add 1, 2, 3. This is such an easy pattern. You're going to be, where has this been all my life? It is that easy. All right, so now we've got our multiple of 6 plus our 3. We're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this 6th stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets, chain 2, two double crochets. Make sure I get back into that right chain. And so that we can get this easier, here's one stitch, one stitch. That right there, we're gonna put a stitch marker in so we know that's where we're gonna put our last stitch when we come back around. See, because this V belongs to this stitch, this V belongs to this stitch, and this is going to be the last stitch. Okay, so let's get going. Wrap our hook, and we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in that 6th one, we're going to do it again. 2 double crochets. Chain 2, 2 double crochets. And this first row is always the wonkiest. So we're going to do that again. Skip. Don't forget that one right next to where you were, that always gets really tiny. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in that 6th one, you're going to do your 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And we're going to do this all along this chain until there are 3 chains left. There should just be 1, 2, 3. This should be where your last, keep on to think I'm getting out of frame there. That should be where your last shell is with your 2 doubles, 2 chains. So I'm going to meet you right there. Okay, so I've made my last shell and I have 1, 2, 3 left. Wrap your hook twice. We're making a treble into this very last chain. This is what it should be looking like. Okay, we're going to turn this, and into this very first stitch, we're going to make a single. Now, if you prefer to, oh my God, come on, this yarn is really thin. If you prefer to chain up and make your single, go ahead. I'm just going to go right into the stitch. Make a single. And then I'm going to take a stitch marker. Make sure I don't lose it. We're going to chain 3. Wrap the hook, and right in the middle of this one, we're going to make a double. Chain 3. Now, between this double and this double of these 2 shells, we're just going to go right there, make a single. Chain 3, make a double in that chain 2 space, chain 3, go between those 2 shells, make a single. Chain 3, and in that chain 2 space, make a double, chain 3, between those 2 shells, make a single. And you're going to do that all the way across. When you get back down here to the end, we're going to put a single crochet right there. I'll catch you there. Okay, I just put my double into that last chain 2 space. I'm going to chain 3, and this would be the chain 3 space that we started with. So we're going to go right into there, and this is why I like to mark with the stitch marker so that I have it. Just like that. Take that stitch marker out. Now, this is where you can do 2 or 3 different things, whatever makes you happy. We need a treble right here. You can chain 3, count that as your treble. You can chain 3 and then make a treble into here, or you can just do what I do. I'm going to go into there, that first stitch, make a single. Then I'm going to go into the side of it, pull through, make a single. Then I'm going to go into the side of that one, pull through, make a single. That is a triple stack. Equal to a treble crochet. Now we're going to wrap our hook, and we're going to go right directly into this double crochet. We're going to go in there, and we're going to make that shell. Really honest. Make 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets right into the top of that double crochet, just like that. Then we're going to skip everything, all this. We're going to go right to that very next one, that very next double, and do the same thing. I'm going to pull that tight though. Pull this over here. 1, 2, chain 2, 1, 2. Just like that. Because, you guys, these 2 rows, the shell and then the chains, that's the repeat. We're starting our second repeat. Now, same thing. We're going to wrap our hook. Try not to let this stretch out too much. So just kind of bring this next double crochet right over to you. Go through, make a double, make a second double. I swear to God, it is so hard doing this with my arms wrapped around a tripod, and I'm not even sure you can see that. So just put 2 doubles into that, chain 2, and we're going to do it again. Okay, make sure this stays tight. Find that double crochet, wrap your hook, bring that double crochet over to you. Make 2 double crochets into it. chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Do that all the way to the end. When we get to this last double crochet, I'll meet you there. Okay, I've just made my shell into that last double crochet. Wrap twice. I'm going to go into this last stitch here. Make a treble. Now we are going to turn our work, and we're going to place a single crochet into that very first stitch. Chain 3, and this is the second row of our repeat. Into that shell, make a double. Chain 3, go between those shells, make a single. Chain 3, into the shell, make a double. Chain 3, go down between those shells, make a single. I don't even know if you guys are seeing this. Chain 3, make a double into that shell, and do that all the way along.